A Plaguelands Media production.
Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media. Today I'm kind of going to give you an overview, so to speak, of basically the definitive book if you're a fan of Batman, the character, the comics, the movies, the animated series, whatever. This is the book that you really need to get your hands on and sink your teeth into. So no further preamble. Let's just get right into another episode of So this is Batman, the definitive history of the Dark Knight in comics, film, and beyond. As you can see, this is an absolute beast of a book, but for any diehard Batman fan like myself, absolutely worth checking out. So the book, I'm just going to go through it pretty quickly. As you can see, quite a definitive table of contents. We have a foreword by Michael Keaton, of course, best known as Batman from the Tim Burton Batman and Batman Returns. A preface by Dennis O'Neil, who is quite a prolific Batman writer, and Kevin Conroy, who did the voice of Batman in the animated series. So straight away, this book is starting really strong. It basically begins with the golden age of comics. We actually have inside the book itself a reprint of the first Batman story, which I had never read before, but is really cool. And you'll find that this book has a lot of these sorts of things all the way through it. We have some great cover art, like the comic art and whatnot. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here, but just each chapter kind of deals with another era of Batman. And I know a lot of people kind of would look at a book like this and go, all right, I just want to read the parts like it's any kind of non-fiction research kind of book. But it is honestly well worth your time to read everything. It's just absolutely fascinating. And then we get the blueprints to the 1950s Batmobile, which is really cool. And you can just see like the absurdity of the old kind of golden age and silver age Batman comics. Batmite. Then we talk about, then it goes into kind of the revamping of the characters, costume changes, whatnot. The TV show, which a lot of people kind of poo-poo it now, but you can admit it. This show is fucking awesome. I've actually rewatched this about a year and a half ago. I rewatched all the episodes of the original Batman TV show. It's so much fun. Cesar Romero, it's just great. That's just me, the Bat Cycle, the Bat Copter. Who can forget that movie, the classic scene in the movie where he has the Bat Shark repellent, or when he's running around with the bomb and he runs, there's like the ducks and the nuns, and he's like, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. Adam West and Burt Ward at their finest. And Adam West, even, in his heyday, he took the piss out of himself on The Simpsons. He was the mayor in Family Guy. Like, this is a guy that knew how to kind of camp it up a bit. You can't go wrong with that. as the poster for the film. The original Mr. Freeze. Then we get the Dark Knight Detective with Deadman, Brave and the Bold, Green Arrow. I loved when they used to put the speech bubbles on the old comic book covers. I mean, that's just awesome. There's Ra's al Ghul and Talia. And we have when he was a member of the Justice League. That's Firestorm, Darkseid. The old Justice League cartoon. Super Friends cartoon, which we all watched as kids. Just really cool. And you get kind of some storyboarding stuff thrown in. These you can actually remove them from the book. I'm not going to. I think it would be doing it a disservice. Then we have, when the original Robin became Nightwing back in Teen Titans. I believe it was during the Judas Contract storyline in Teen Titans where Terra betrayed the team to... what's the dude's name? Can't even remember the villain's name now from that. It's not Deathlock. It's not Deadshot. Fuck me. That pisses me off. Oh, well. Then we have Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. An absolutely phenomenal comic if you've never read it. Dark Knight Triumphant. I didn't read the sequels to it, but I did read the original Dark Knight Returns. I believe there are 3 books. And then we have this. Really is cool. This is like part of the script for the Dark Knight Returns. I think there were 2 other books. It's a trilogy of graphic novels, but I only read the first one. Then we get like the Year One stuff, Detective Comics. We all know this image. Alan Moore, The Killing Joke. For those of you that are not familiar with The Killing Joke, it is probably one of the most famous Batman stories around, where the Joker actually shoots Barbara Gordon, causing her to become a paraplegic. There is kind of implied rape, but maybe not. But he kidnaps Commissioner Gordon and forces Commissioner Gordon through this kind of funhouse roller coaster thing. He's under the impression that all it takes is one bad day to break somebody, and you get a little bit of what could or could not be the Joker's backstory. When he's the Red Hood. So that's kind of really interesting. It's a fantastic graphic novel, but when they did the animated version, not nearly as good. A Death in the Family, where the Jason Todd version of Robin, the second Robin, is killed off. There is that famous story about the poll where they got the fans to call in, do you want to kill off Robin or not? And a lot of people hated Jason Todd as Robin. Although, I have to be honest with you, these days he's kind of grown on me, especially with the Titans TV show. That version of Jason Todd is really interesting. Deathstroke is the name of the character I was thinking of back when I was talking about Dick Grayson becoming Nightwing. Deathstroke. Deathstroke the Terminator? I don't even know anymore. I'm going batshit crazy. That's okay. I don't know what's up with this picture, but a very famous shot. Death in the Family. Scott Snyder later did the Death of the Family storyline in the New 52 Batman. Pardon me. And I know a lot of people poo-poo the new 52 Batman, but Death of the Family and Scott Snyder's actually run on it where he introduces the Court of Owls. Absolutely phenomenal. So if you have the chance, read the new 52 Batman books. They were great. And now we get the Batman, live-action Batman film. Saw this at the cinema. Absolutely loved it. To this day, it's still one of my favorite superhero movies. Jack Nicholson is a fantastic Joker. Yes, he's no Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger, won the posthumous Oscar for being the Joker, but you cannot fault Jack Nicholson for the way that he played the character. It was just brilliant. I think Tim Burton taking a darker tone with the film as well was just absolutely inspired. Vicky Vale, side character. The architecture of Gotham in the first two Batman films is just, look at Axis Chemicals. It's just great. Gadgets and the weapons, and then we have this kind of preliminary storyboarding sequence, which is really cool to kind of see. I actually had this graphic novel. I bought it when I was a kid at Central Station in Sydney at the newsagents there, and I read it on the train home. I'm not sure what we were doing in Sydney at the time. I was there with my family. From the Arkham Asylum graphic. This is Barbara Gordon as Oracle. After she was shot by the Joker in The Killing Joke, she became Oracle. Azrael, the Broken Bat. This was a huge deal. This is like the death of Superman huge. When Bane broke Batman's back in the Nightfall storyline. And he passed the mantle on to Azrael. We have Danny DeVito as Oswald Cobblepot. Batman Returns is a fantastic film, and I don't think people give it enough credit. It's so deliciously dark, just really morbid. And we get another little book, The Art of Batman Returns, which is really cool. Penguins with the rockets. Come on. And then Joel Schumacher, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Now, I don't really like Batman and Robin, but Batman Forever came out at a time where that sort of a movie really appealed to me, and having taught film studies at university, I honestly think it's still a fine film. I think Tommy Lee Jones was great as Harvey Dent, a little, but Jim Carrey's The Riddler is still fun, even though it's not up to the standard of what we expect of Batman villains. It's a little too goofy. The Riddler in the new in the Batman, the latest film, much darker, and that's just ridiculous. But for all we can criticize all we want, we still enjoy watching these films, and that's the main part. If you enjoy watching it, then who really cares? All these Poison Ivy and Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. Ooh, the bat nipple. Come on. The suits look fine, I guess. Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl. She was the only major female lead in that whole film, and Alfred's niece. And they're like, who are you? Like, are you kidding me? You're that stupid. The problem with Batman and Robin wasn't Joel Schumacher, wasn't George Clooney, wasn't Chris O'Donnell, wasn't Alicia Silverstone. The problem with Batman and Robin was the fucking script. Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, I don't care. It's fine. Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, fantastic. George Clooney as Batman, great. He can play Bruce Wayne. He can play Batman. That's fine. Chris O'Donnell, he was in Batman Forever, so of course he's going to be coming back. But what they had to work with was just fucking terrible. Like, that script was just awful. It was almost like it was rushed out. That's just my opinion, though. You may disagree. Then we get into the animated series, which is just phenomenal. If you haven't watched it, shame on you. The introduction of Harley Quinn, who was so popular. Not only did Kevin Smith name his daughter Harley Quinn, but Harley Quinn from the animated show entered the comic books and is now part of Batman mythology. That's how powerful and popular that character was. The designs of the costumes are fantastic. Mr. Freeze, Catwoman, Two-Face, Commissioner Gordon, looks like Commissioner Gordon. The Joker, voiced by Mark Hamill, give me a fucking break. Genius. The stories were just superb. I loved Batman Beyond. I still do. The graphic novel Batman Beyond Hush is phenomenal. And the character, they actually brought the character during the New 52 comic book series. They actually brought the character of Terry McGinnis and the future Batman into mainstream DC continuity, which is just great. And then you had like Batman in the Justice League animated series. Contagion. These are all like the famous, The Long Halloween. Again, The Long Halloween is a graphic novel that if you haven't read and you're a Batman fan, shame on you. The Long Halloween is one of the greatest Batman stories ever written. Then we have a map of Gotham. Evolution of Batman. Also, one graphic novel if you're a Batman fan, the old Justice League of America story, Tower of Babel, where Ra's al Ghul finds that Batman has actually devised a plot to, if any of the members of the Justice League of America go rogue, he knows how to stop them. And Ra's al Ghul finds that information and actually uses it against the Justice League. And ultimately it ends with Batman being, they're voting to expel him from the league and he ends up quitting. It is an amazing, amazing storyline. Gotham City PD. Frank Miller's, there's Hush. Again, another Batman graphic novel you need to read is Batman Hush, and the follow-up story, Heart of Hush. Just phenomenal storylines. Red Hood. Now we get to the Christopher Nolan Batman films, which I love them. I'm not going to say they're bad, but rather controversially, I think while Christian Bale's Batman is a fantastic Batman, I think Ben Affleck just does it a little bit better. I'm a Batfleck fan. Don't get me wrong, I love Christian Bale's. I'm trying to get it. The Batman. I'm going to get to the toilet. But I think Ben Affleck has more screen presence. However, the stories in the Christopher Nolan trilogy and bringing Scarecrow to the big screen was a dream come true for me. I saw Batman Begins with my good friend Ian Van Gammett, and we went into this film fucking skeptical as all shit. I remember going to the Edge Cinema in Katoomba with Ian, and we were both like, this movie is going to be shit. It's going to be a good laugh. But after Batman and Robin, they're not going to make a serious Batman film. And then we came out of that movie theater what the fuck did we just see? Especially the ending of Batman Begins, where Commissioner Gordon hands him the Joker card. Are you kidding me? That movie was phenomenal. Ian, that one goes out to you, mate. I remember that fucking moment. Don't think I don't. When The Dark Knight came out with Heath Ledger's Joker, yeah, this is a tough one for me because I was living in South Korea at the time, and The Dark Knight came out. All of my friends, we had bought tickets. There was a ton of us going together. And everyone, I'd been talking about this film for months. So everyone knew, and I was the big movie guy. If people wanted to borrow DVDs, they came to my place. I still am the big movie guy. A lot of my friends are like, can you shut up about fucking movies, Hugh? And the day this film came out, it was a Wednesday, and it was the day I had just finished work, and it was the start of my summer vacation. And this movie, we had tickets to the 7:30 session at the CGV Cinema in Gaysandong. And I got home from work and I called my father via Skype because my mother was in hospital battling cancer. Pardon me. So I called my father and my dad said, the doctors have given your mother about 2 or 3 days to live. You've got to come home. Now, this was the night that I was due to see The Dark Knight, and the choice I had was go and see the movie or not. If I had stayed home, everyone would have known that something was wrong. It would have ruined the night for a whole lot of people. I talked to some good friends of mine who agreed to look after my dog for me. But I did go and see the film. However, I don't remember watching the movie. I didn't remember a thing about the film the first time I saw it in the cinema. And then I had to kind of organize to go back home. And those of you that know me know ultimately what happened. I didn't watch this film for a year. And until I sat down a year later and watched it. And this film is don't get me wrong, it's a fucking masterpiece. The opening sequence is one of the best opening sequences to any film, bar none, ever, with the bank heist. But to me, I'm just reminded of my mother's death when I watch it. So, yeah, that's not to say that Heath Ledger didn't deserve the posthumous Oscar for his portrayal of the Joker. It's a brilliant film, but again, a lot of memories there. Sorry if I'm choking up a little bit. Harvey Dent. I did think, however, that this film, when they introduced Two-Face, I think the ending to this film would have been great if Two-Face had walked into the bar and the guy goes, Dent, I thought you were dead. And he says, like, only half, and he flips the coin. And then that would have set up Two-Face as the main villain in the third film. I think they rushed the Harvey Dent Two-Face storyline a little bit. However, not going to fault them for that. Still love the fucking movie. Also, the scene in the tunnel that was filmed in Chicago, I was on a tour bus and we went through that tunnel where they filmed the truck car chase thing. That was really fucking cool. Dark Knight Rises, saw it at the cinema when it came out. Loved it. Not too much to say about it. It's a good film. And then we get some behind the scenes stuff here. And then we have some more kind of animated stuff. Just going to kind of flick through that. Then we get into the video games. The Lego Batman video games, Arkham Asylum, which is one of my all-time favorite fucking video games. Arkham Asylum and Arkham City are just phenomenal games. I don't care if people kind of shit on the ending of Arkham Asylum, where you fight the Venomized Joker. It was a great game. Arkham City was brilliant. Unfortunately, I haven't played any of the others. Then we get the various Batman family characters. Batman killed by Darkseid's anti-life equation, where he wasn't actually killed. He was, thrust back in time. Batman Incorporated. Then we get kind of a resurgence. Oh my God, one of the greatest art panels of all time, where the Joker has his face cut off. Are you kidding me? I bought the graphic novel to this, having not read or even heard about where the story was leading up to. And when I saw this panel, my first instinct, I took a photograph of it and sent it to my good friend Ian Van Gamet. Like, Scott Snyder reinvented Batman in a whole new way that you didn't think could have been possible at the time. And yet, completely was, and I absolutely loved it. And then we have the Batfleck from Batman versus Superman. Don't care what anyone says. Love the film. Justice League. Don't care what anyone says. Love the film. Snyder Cut, so much better. But there you go. Lego Batman movie was brilliant. He was a fantastic character in the Lego movie, so naturally that was going to be the culmination of it. Gotham. Love this TV show. Even though there's a few time jumps and things like that, I think the way that they interpret all of the characters, especially the Riddler and the Penguin, and to a lesser extent Joker, even though they never use his name, I think Gotham is up there as one of the best reimaginings of classic characters that you can find, and it is well worth your time to sit and watch all 5 seasons of it. It's just brilliant, even if you can get over the fact that Commissioner Gordon is the douche from the OC. And then we have the costume art from Gotham. And then how Batman will live on in our psyche. This itself is just, it's not only a good exploration of the character, if you're not familiar with the character of Batman, but it's also a great look at how creatively different people can be when given an intellectual property. Now, I am a fan of Superman. I'm more a fan of the different iterations of Superman, from Smallville, the Christopher Reeve films, to Injustice, Superman Red Son, even to a lesser extent the film that came out where the little kid, Brightburn, where the little kid, it's a Superman origin story if Superman was a complete and utter dickhole. But this gives everything to you in one book, as well as a definitive history of the character, of the creators. You find out all about Bob Kane and Bill Finger and all of those people. So if you're a Batman fan, I urge you to get your hands on a copy of this. It is expensive. I understand that, but it's well worth the price. That's Batman, the definitive history of the Dark Knight and comics film and beyond. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, leave a comment as to your favorite Batman storyline. Stay safe, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.